All right, let's talk about something every business dreads: disaster. The truth is, it's gonna happen. The real question is, when it hits, can you actually figure out how bad the damage is? Today, we're gonna break down a survival guide for understanding the full impact of a crisis and, more importantly, how to build a real roadmap to recovery. Let's dive in.
So just imagine it for a second. The alarms are blaring, your customers are lighting up your phone lines, and your whole system is completely dark. It's pure chaos, right? In that first critical hour, what do? Panic? Start pointing fingers? Or is there a smarter way to handle this?
Okay, to make this real, we're going to follow the story of a fictional startup. We'll call them SyncUp. They've got a fantastic product, a really sharp team, and they are right on the verge of a huge launch. But their story is about to become a serious lesson in crisis management. And boom, it happens. Launch day. The one moment SyncUp has been working towards for months. And then, a critical server failure, a total system outage. No product, no service, just a blank screen and a whole lot of very angry new users. This, right here, is the moment of truth.
You know, the first instinct is always to just jump into fix-it mode. But honestly, that's a mistake. Before you can solve anything, you have to define the problem. What exactly happened? Okay, a server crashed. Who was affected? All of our customers, new and old. What was the immediate response? An all-hands-on-deck emergency scramble. See? Just defining the event like this stops the panic and gives you the first solid ground to stand on.
So, once the initial fire is contained, you need a framework, a clear, structured way to assess the total damage. This isn't just about one thing, it's a three-pronged attack. We're going to look at the financial hit, the operational chaos, and the damage to your reputation. This is exactly how SyncUp is going to turn that chaos into a real plan.
First up, the most painfully obvious one: money. You have to put a number on the damage. It is not enough to just say, oh, we lost some sales. You have to quantify it. What did this outage actually cost the business in cold, hard cash?
And this is where it gets real. It's not just the 150 grand in sales they lost right away. The real damage, so often, is the indirect stuff. $250,000 in big enterprise contracts that are now on hold. Then you add in the cost to actually fix the servers and the penalties you have to pay out. You can see just how fast this whole thing spirals.
And there it is. The total blow. Over $500,000. For a startup, a number like that isn't just a bad quarter. It could be the end of the line. It's an existential threat. And that figure is absolutely brutal. But you know what? Facing it head-on is the only way you can even begin to recover.
But the damage? It goes way beyond just the money. A crisis like this can paralyze a company's ability to even function. That's the operational impact. And trust me, it can be just as devastating.
I mean, just look at the difference. It's night and day. Before this, SyncUp was a well-oiled machine. After, a complete outage. Customer support is totally drowning in calls, and the entire engineering team is pulled off their real projects just to fight this one fire. The company is, for all intents and purposes, paralyzed.
And this brings us to that third and maybe the most dangerous pillar of damage: your reputation. This is all about trust. You can earn back money, you can fix a system, but winning back trust, that is the hardest part, and it hits everyone.
Let's start with your customers. This quote, it says everything. For them, this isn't just some technical glitch, it's a broken promise. The second that trust is shattered, they start looking for another option. And just like that, you start losing the very people you built this business for.
Then you've got your investors. They didn't just give you money, they invested in a vision, in your team's ability to get it done. A crisis like this shakes their confidence right to the core. They need to see leadership and a plan, fast, or they might just pull the plug.
And you can't forget about the damage happening inside your own walls. Your team, they're terrified. They see the chaos, they feel the silence from leadership, and they start to wonder about the future of the company and their own jobs. Morale just hits rock bottom.
Okay, so the analysis is done. And yeah, it's bad. Financial, operational, reputational chaos, the whole shebang. But here's the pivot. This detailed assessment, it's not just a damage report, it's the actual blueprint for your comeback. It tells you exactly what you need to fix.
And check this out. Notice how SyncUp's recovery plan maps directly back to those three pillars we talked about. The first few days are all about financial containment. Week 1 is focused completely on getting operations back online, and the whole first month is dedicated to rebuilding their reputation. This isn't random. It's a strategic response built right from their own impact analysis.
Once the dust settles, the real work begins, and that is reflection. You have to ask the hard questions. Could we have seen this coming? Which of our processes completely failed us? Answering these questions is what turns a one-time disaster into a long-term lesson in being resilient. It's how you make sure this never, ever happens again.
And so that really brings us to the central question you have to ask. It forces you to look beyond just the numbers and the tech fixes and to really confront the full scope of the damage. But more importantly, it focuses you on the one thing that will ultimately determine if you survive: rebuilding trust. If this happened to you tomorrow, how would you even begin to answer that?